This is News 6 Tonight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Thursday edition of News 6 Tonight. We hope that you have made an appointment to stay with us for, your new streaming destination. We love to discuss the day's news and things that happen that you may have missed. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
I'm Matt Austin. Glad you're with us tonight. Parents, just stick in there. These kids are almost back into school. We can be rid of them for 8 hours a day.
Be rid? You don't want to get rid of your kids.
They're starting to drive me crazy.
Okay, well.
Okay, they're getting that brain drain. It's like little zombies running around my house.
It's going to be
Love
fine.
the kids, but Meet the Teacher tonight went well. I'm glad to report.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a little
That's
breaking
awesome.
news
Yeah.
ahead of Alligator Alcatraz here, which
has
we talk
been
about a
breaking
lot.
news for several weeks now. Good evening, Danielle. I think there were some people waiting for us to start the show tonight, which is
Those are my
always really
favorites.
nice. Yeah, those are always my favorite people. But Alligator Alcatraz continues to be not just a story that has garnered national attention. It's in the state of Florida, but people all over the country know exactly what it is. We drill down on it because we have local representatives and it has a local hook to it almost every time it's in the news.
Yeah, and everybody around here is talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It is one of the most talked about stories of the year in Florida.
For sure.
And something interesting happened today. So construction was paused at Alligator Alcatraz for the next 14 days. Now, keep in mind, detainees can still be held there. They can be brought in. They can be shipped out. They can be housed there.
And right now they have about 700 of them.
Yes. So a federal judge ordered that the construction needs to be paused because this is not a case about the immigration or how these people are being housed.
It's about the land.
This is about the land, and this is an environmentalist story that we're talking about right now. So it's very interesting to see how this is all coming about. And you might say, like, well, how is this really impacting the environment? Well, an attorney for Friends of the Everglades spoke about this today to kind of inform us maybe about what's going on down there.
Sure.
We have documented with our scientific experts about 20 acres, at least 20 acres now, of new asphalt laid at the site. The state has alleged that there was an existing concrete pad underneath. We examined that claim and there's no evidence to support that claim. There's also a new roadway that's included in that roughly 20 acres. We also know that there is industrial lighting out at the site now that's visible from about 15 miles away.
So I'm always curious about the arguments here because they're always arguing about stuff that's very difficult to understand for a regular non-legal mind. But the crux of the plaintiff's argument in this is that the detention facility violates the National Environmental Policy Act, which I did not learn about in school. But it basically requires federal agencies have to assess the environmental dangers before they take on a major construction project. That's their argument, is that, hey, they never assessed any impact on this very fragile environment down there.
Well, that was the argument from the very beginning because people did not want anyone to even go there, even though this giant landing strip was already there. They did not want it exacerbated or anything added to it.
Right, but it has been added to. So they have built quite a few things, including a road that's gone in there. The state's argument isn't that we're not adding to it. The state's argument is basically this is the state. What that National Environmental Policy Act is for the federal government, and this is a state deal. So but is the
They're
federal
doing the
government
dance.
paying for it? That's
Exactly.
always the legalese behind. So whenever a final ruling does come out on this is what it's going to be about. It's not going to be about
The
anything
detainees
else.
or
It's going to be
whatever.
about the legalese
The
involved
land,
in this.
and you can always get people's attention when you talk about things like that. And we have a local rep here in Central Florida who has really been adamant about making sure. One, she's against Alligator Alcatraz to begin with, and two, she
For the
really has.
immigration policy, yeah.
Exactly. And two, she has also said that the environmental impacts would be great. Her name is Anna Escamani, and so we have a little bit of sound from her. And this is just tonight. She said this.
It is a win for the environment. It's a win for those who care about due process. And of course, it's hopefully the first win of many because there is still the larger case to get to. But I do see this as a positive turn of events in an environment where we constantly don't see a path to stop some of these heinous decisions from our governor. And so I'm grateful to see a judge agree with us that we should not be building anything in the Everglades, period.
Well, he didn't necessarily agree with that.
Sure.
He made the ruling that was a pause for for 14 days
Yeah.
to just see. An actual ruling hasn't been made just yet.
Hi,
And I do want to
Charlotte.
say, Governor DeSantis says, "Oh, bye. Yeah, hi, Charlotte. Good to see you tonight. Thanks for joining us." Governor DeSantis said today's ruling by an activist judge will have no impact on immigration enforcement
Yeah.
in Florida. So that was his response to everything.
Of
going on.
course, and a lot of people are still just this story has lots of legs, and we'll continue to follow it because it is following the policies of Governor Ron DeSantis.
And
This
it's
is what
interesting
people voted
to see
for.
how it's
yeah,
gonna go. Yeah.
exactly. Another story is coming out of Melbourne. It is just a tragic case. I remember when we covered this months and months ago, and I was like, how could something like that happen? There's a woman who lives in Melbourne. When she was 11 years old, unfortunately, she was raped by what she claims to be a family friend. She did the rape kit and all of this. This is an 11-year-old going through all of this. And apparently nothing ever happened. And her family and others told her that the person who she thought did the crime was dead.
Her mom
Told her that
this
the
person
person, was dead. And that turned out not to be the case. And now she is suing the Melbourne Police Department. Her name is Elizabeth Bradshaw, and she actually identified the man who raped her. So when they told her that that he had died, it was, fine, end of case. But one day, it's like decades later, she's at a gas station and she sees him. Our investigator, Mike DeForest, has been covering this story. Here's part of his reporting.
Melbourne police could not find them, saying the physical evidence had been disposed. Without that evidence, the state attorney's office says it cannot prosecute the suspected child rapist who still lives in Brevard County.
An officer of Melbourne Police Department destroyed the evidence in the active rape case of an 11-year-old child.
Now, Bradshaw has filed this lawsuit against the city of Melbourne. The perpetrator will never face criminal charges or civil litigation for the plaintiff's rape because of negligence of the defendant's police department, the complaint states. According to the lawsuit, the agency's mishandling of the rape case caused the plaintiff to seek mental health counseling, to be prescribed psychotropic medication, and contributed to the plaintiff's post-traumatic stress disorder diagnosis. The city of Melbourne is trying to get Bradshaw's lawsuit dismissed, arguing that it is not liable for what happened to her.
Now, it's just, your heart breaks. And
It's a brutal
when
story.
you hear the start of Mike's story and he says they could not find them, he's talking about the rape kit. They went through.
which was DNA evidence, and the only kind of evidence you get in
and
these sort of
for an
situations.
11-year-old to have to go through that after being sexually assaulted is just another layer of traumatizing her. And here it is all these years, some 35 years later, and this man is still out there on the streets.
Still walking
they've,
around.
They've never named him because he hasn't been charged with anything.
Yeah, and
'cause
we can't name
she
him
thought he
either
was
if
dead.
he-
No,
if
we
he hasn't
can't.
been
We
charged.
certainly can't. But we will continue, of course, to follow that one because I feel like there will be more to come on that
Yeah,
story.
we'll have to find out what
Yeah.
happens with that lawsuit because you can't just lose evidence.
No.
City of Orlando has been struggling the last few years. It seems like there was a time there where every other weekend we would have some sort of shooting downtown Wall Street area.
Yeah.
This is where the young people go to get
hang
their
out.
party on.
Nobody says that
They
anymore.
drink
so-
a little bit.
Okay, yes.
They're getting jiggy with it.
Please, no.
Right? Like, is that what they're...
They've
no.
not said
Okay,
that in a very
not
long
so
time.
much. Okay.
Yeah, but it is a place where a lot of people do hang out, and Wall Street in particular. And I remember it was Halloween was the genesis of what we're seeing now
Mm-hmm.
because there was a shooting. Halloween is like the new Christmas. Everybody celebrates, and that is
Yeah,
a
but
big
with guns.
It's like Christmas, but with guns,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And it's just always been problematic. And last year actually, when there was that big shooting, I was out there live after it happened the next day, and they closed off streets, and the bar owners were not happy, the restaurants weren't happy because the customers couldn't get to them. And now it's on them. The onus is on them to get more security so things don't happen.
So after that happened, they put in an ordinance that says you have to get a permit to sell alcohol between midnight and 2. And to get that permit, you have to do all sorts of things. You have to have security. There's a lot of limitations for these bar owners. The bar owner said, we can't do it. You're hurting our business.
Yeah.
So they sued, and a judge just came out and said, they wanted to put a pause on the ordinance so they could go back to selling alcohol.
Yeah,
The judge said,
didn't
no,
happen.
that is not going to be the case. Community correspondent Stephanie Rodriguez, she has the new developments in that story.
Last September, some Orlando bar owners filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Orlando and the police chief, challenging the after midnight sales ordinance, which requires certain bars to pay for police protection between 10:30 p.m. and 3:30 a.m. Now, in the ruling on the request to pause the ordinance rules, the judge said, quote, "The court concludes that the motion fails because it does not establish irreparable harm and that the plaintiffs delayed in filing this suit until several months after suffering the alleged harm and further delayed in filing the instant motion. This means the ordinance stays in place and those bars have to keep paying for security until a final judgment is reached." In downtown Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
It was interesting hearing the judge's ruling in this because he said, if you're so harmed by this, why did you take so long to file this?
Yep.
And so he's saying, obviously,
And they were open in the
judge's
meantime,
opinion, you're still open, that you're being harmed, and you take months to get this filed. So kind of an interesting look inside the courtroom there.
Yeah, and we'll continue to follow that story as well. If I said to you, raw milk, what do you think?
I don't know. I have never had it. I've never had unpasteurized from the teat milk.
Wow. Okay. Don't use that word again. But when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to talk about a problem that's happened here in Central Florida where people are consuming this thing and they're getting really sick.
Is teat a bad word? Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your news streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also good looking because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down below.
My gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to News 6 Tonight. Before we went to break, we talked about raw milk and what is it? And
Have you ever, because you were kind of in a rural setting growing up, did they have a raw milk situation?
feel
going on?
attacked. I feel
Well, there's
like
nothing wrong with rural.
No. I honestly think we drank unpasteurized milk when I was a kid.
That's
really
what
do
I was
believe
guessing,
that.
yeah.
Because our neighbors had cows, we did not have cows, and I remember a big old thing sitting in the refrigerator, like a plastic thing with like a nozzle or whatever, and it was not from the grocery store, but the Gadsdens all grew big and strong.
Yeah, and you should not feel attacked because you've told me stories about Big Mama and chickens.
Oh yeah.
How she would prepare a chicken for dinner
we
that was
never-
running around
Previously in the day, earlier. But
warm
there-
eggs, all of it. I'm sorry. Okay,
There's
go
a
ahead.
Volusia County farm, if we're going to focus now, that is the center of maybe 21 people getting sick with E. coli, because that's what happens if you do not have pasteurized milk. And you cannot buy it in the grocery store. It's a farm. It's called Keeley Farms, and it's in Volusia County. And 21 people, including 6 kids, have gotten sick from this. And I think 7 people had to be hospitalized because they got so sick from drinking raw milk. And it depends on who you talk to. Some people say, oh, it helps with asthma, it helps with allergies and all these different things, but you cannot buy it to consume it. You can use it for pets and animals and things like that. And that's why on their website they say we sell it so you can feed it to your animals.
Legally,
yeah.
they can't really sell it for human
No,
consumption.
and they don't. And they make it really clear on their website. And they said something earlier today that they had no idea that people were drinking it until they saw this press release that people had gotten sick.
Okay.
So they, in their defense, they say they didn't know that people were drinking it.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
that
how do they know what people are
well,
doing
they do
with
their due diligence and say on their website and everything is labeled not for human consumption.
Yeah, you can't blame the farm at all. And to be honest with you, I would be very interested to taste raw milk, but I also understand that farms are not very sanitary places, to be honest. You know, the reason that all of this started is because people were getting sick, and E. coli, it's not like where the milk's coming out and where other stuff comes out is very far apart, you know, and you're on a farm. And so I think that
but the E. coli is the bacteria, and of course there's some other things in there too, but raw milk, it's so thick, or just whole milk anyway. I can't even drink that, like milk in general.
my wife buys
No
skim
bueno.
at the house. It drives me crazy.
You don't drink.
like
It's like water.
runny water.
It's like
yes.
water with a little bit of color.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about all of that. All right, let's talk about something else. I am interested in all things business these days. All of my news.
You're in
my
school,
news-
people
I
should
am.
know.
Yeah, I am getting a master's degree in business, and I'm trying to figure this whole business thing out because I find it fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I think the businesses where you can print money these days, if you get in it, is children's sports. My God, people will spend their entire life savings because they think little Johnny's going to be in the World Series
Are you
one
speaking
day.
from experience?
No. Well, I am, because one of my daughters got into lacrosse. I have a tennis player. It's very expensive.
Sure.
And if you're going to...
And if they travel, wow.
I have had some summers ruined by this stuff. And I get it. You know, you don't want to hold your kid back.
What if they are the next superstar?
They're not. Okay, let's just be honest. If you're not a superstar, your kid's probably not going to be a superstar. But you want them to have those memories.
Sure.
And everything, they take it so seriously. Anyway, so parents will spend all their money on sports. We have gotten that covered, right? Well, Seminole County is going to cash in on this with an indoor sports facility.
That's brilliant.
So
in
smart.
Florida?
You just
Sign
opened
me
up
up.
6 months out of the year.
I don't even have
you know
kids.
is going to be rainy
Yeah.
and disgustingly hot. Our community correspondent Mark Lehman has taken a look at this pretty interesting proposition here.
Seminole County wants to build this indoor sports complex here at the site of these soccer fields near the airport in Sanford. Today we're hearing more about the benefit and funding of all of this, but there will likely be changes to the project along the way. Earlier this year, the county created a sports tourism district to help fund the project, adding a fee of $1.75 per night for hotel rooms. Initial plans listed the facility at a cost of up to $100 million. A second option without a parking deck would cost $66 million. The plan was also for a 172,000 square foot building, but that will likely be scaled back.
I mean, they're just printing money with that.
And they're going for the heavy money sports, okay? Volleyball, cha-ching.
A lot of money there.
Basketball.
For sure.
Yeah. Cheerleading.
Oh.
Have you seen
my-
these cheer
Have you ever been
moms?
to convention center when there's like a cheer convention?
You can't avoid it. Go to Disney. It's just like all cheerleaders
I
out
love
there.
seeing them though. It's great.
So I always take it with a grain of salt when officials come out, local leaders, and they say this is going to bring $3
All
zillion
this money, yeah.
to our. I think that's usually a bunch of baloney, and they always give you some round number. You know, it's $10 million. Oh wow, that's going to work out nicely. I don't believe those numbers often, but just out of my own experience, I know when you have to travel with a kid's
Yep.
team, you go there. You get a hotel, you have to eat out every day, and it genuinely does bring a lot
It adds
to
up.
the local community.
It adds up. And if it's something that's happening on a weekend or an extended weekend, that's the whole weekend right there. Or it's multiple times throughout the year. You're on the road, and
it draws them in. What are they going to do? They're going to go to Epic Universe. They're going to
Oh my
go to
gosh,
Disney.
of course,
So
of course.
That kind of thing is interesting to me, and I would like a place for my kids to play sports indoors.
so you can watch it while it's
Can you get
indoors.
some tennis courts in that thing,
Oh my
please?
goodness,
Yeah.
that would be great. All right, speaking of how hot it gets here in Florida, meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. And Jonathan, we are still in hurricane season. You said something at the editorial meeting today that the number numbers, the predictions for the hurricane season changed a little bit? They always
Just a
update them and
smidge.
they changed?
Yeah, they just a smidge on the high end. They reduced the number of storms by one. They were forecasting 13 to 19. Now it's 13 to 18. That includes the 4 we've already had. They reduced the majors on the lower end too. I believe now it's now 7 or 5 to 9. I believe that was. We're gonna have the full graphical breakdown coming up at 9:30. And then they reduced the majors by 1 2. So now they're expecting 2 to 5. The average is 3. So it didn't change much. Since what they came out with preseason. So they're doubling down on a more active season than what normally is. And I know everyone's like, okay, there hasn't been anything out there. We were saying that last year too, and then we had the flurry of storms. And that's likely what's going to happen again as we get into
I remember
September,
that,
October.
Jonathan. I remember that moment when we were in the studio and you said, I know nothing has been happening, but things are starting to percolate. Yeah, I don't think I'm adding that word. That's not a weather term. But you did
percolate
call it
we
when you
got
said the
tonight.
next couple of weeks
Yeah.
things are going to start getting way dicier, and then it did.
It unfortunately, so the one that we've got a lot of forcing in the Atlantic. So there's a mechanism going through right now that's going to help to get things going, but the environment is still not that conducive. So there's going to be this battle that I'm going to be watching closely over the next couple of weeks to see if the Atlantic can support it. We'll see. If it was a normal season where the Atlantic was not as hostile as it is for the storms, it would be going nuts. But there's a suppression thing on there. I think the big stuff, though, might be towards fall when we get that seasonal cooling in the upper atmosphere. So
Don't ruin
a
fall,
lot to
Jonathan.
watch.
All right.
What'd you say?
I know you'll be. I said don't ruin fall. I like my pumpkin spice
Oh,
lattes.
you
I
just
know.
ruined fall. You just ruined it with that word.
Don't use that milk, though, that you were talking about from
That
the
raw
I
milk.
like my pumpkin spice latte doused in raw milk for sure. It'll be good for you.
Jonathan, we'll
thank
see you at
you.
9:30.
From where,
Thank
Matt?
you.
Yeah, see you guys.
That's terrible. It is when you say pumpkin spice right now and we're sweating from our eyeballs. Nobody wants to hear that.
No, you sweat from your eyeballs? I think they call that crying. All right. Coming up after the break, we have much more for you. Another good story.
Yeah, we're talking about we want our friends from the north to come back and see us. You've left us, Canada.
Ginger wrote a love note to Canada.
We both wrote it. You're going to read it. We're going to hear about it when we come back.
Welcome to News 6 Tonight. We are so thankful that you're joining us here wherever you found us.
Yeah, you know what this tells me? If you have made this your new streaming destination, it tells me you're smart. Also good looking, because you chose to watch the news in a different way. That makes you really smart. Anybody can give you the news from a teleprompter or an old newspaper. We do it in a fresh new way.
That's right. So check us out wherever you like to stream. We have this app for your TV, News 6 Plus. You can find it on Roku and Amazon and whatever your smart TV is cooking. So thank you. We would love to hear your comments down
Oh my
below.
gosh. Yeah.
And then we'll show them.
Yeah, we will. News 6 Plus. The plus is you.
Ooh.
Okay, welcome back to our final segment tonight of News 6 Tonight. And we got a doozy for you. It's a story I find really interesting because we live in Central Florida, home of theme parks, and you wouldn't think you would have to convince people to come here. But we've been losing some of our friends, the Canadians. And it's a complicated relationship We love them. And Experience Kissimmee has even sent people to Toronto, representatives to Toronto, to say, hey, guys.
Baby, come back.
Maybe they
That's
didn't
the
say-
song they sang.
Yeah, that is not the song they sang, and they didn't sing it like that. But it is a problem because we've had that border conflict with Canada. President Trump has said at one point he wanted to make Canada the 51st state. And also there are the tariffs. So the Canadians aren't very happy or pleased with us right now. But we need them for so many things. And they're the nicest people in the world, right?
Yeah, they're nice people.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. They live in an Arctic tundra.
They do.
And when it
They do.
becomes November,
That's when we're going to
December,
find out.
Here's
We're
what
gonna find
fi-
out.
They're not going to care. Okay? You know, like I don't base my vacations on whatever the prime minister, is it a prime minister up there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever the prime minister of Canada or the province where I'm planning to go. You think they really are hearing like what Ron DeSantis says in the news?
I think they are. Or else why would we send a representative to Toronto to say, hey, we're open for business, everybody, but we're serious about it. I know we got the Stanley Cup in Florida.
I think
and maybe,
that's what it is. I
Do you
think they're
think that-
mad because they can't win a Stanley Cup and we can't
okay.
not win a Stanley Cup.
Wow, you're really not helping the situation.
Two in a row. No, I love Canada. I
I
do.
suggested, so instead of sending a representative, that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
Matt and I sat down and composed a little letter for
I
Canada.
had nothing to do with this.
Okay, so let's see it. I'm going to read it out loud now. It says, Dear Canadian friends, we love your syrup, we love your bacon, and we love your money.
Actually, I did have to do with the last line.
Please come back.
Please come back.
Please.
We do like the Canadians.
Yeah, we're nice people.
By the way, though, tourism numbers still way up
They're
in Orlando.
Right now, they are.
So I don't know what percentage Canadians. I know a lot of
But
Canadians.
why
do
is
come down here.
Kissimmee worried then? Why are they worried?
Who knows?
Okay.
But we'll see.
Well,
Come on back,
we've done
Canadians.
our part.
I'm
We've
going to
done
go
our
eat
part.
some Canadian bacon so I'm ready and raring to go for this 10 o'clock show we have.
We got a
coming
lot
up.
going on.
Thank you, Christopher. Watch until the end.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it. This is
Love
the
that.
end.
Bye.